So, as we're super excited for the Alphaville concert in Prague next month, I'm here on the phone with the legendary Marian Gold. Hello, how are you?
Hey, I'm fine. Thank you very much.
So, it's been exactly 40 years since Forever Young was released. This year. So, and I feel like it's been alive like ever since. How do you look at the whole experience now, like after so many years?
Well, actually, I'm just starting to think about it because I'm not a person that looks, into the past. I'm very much orientated, towards the future. And when we start with this project, this compilation of 40 songs for each year of Alphaville's career, one song. And I went through all the archives and, to all the, also to listening to songs that I hadn't listened to for years, maybe for decades. It was the first time that I started to think about what had happened, during all these years. And I felt quite astonished about it, because it doesn't happen very often that a band exists for such a long time. And when we started, for instance, 4 years ago in 1984, I would have never thought that I would sit here, speaking to you about Alphaville in the year 2024. This is absolutely fantastic, and it gives me really lots of energy, for further projects, that we're gonna do. We're just in the middle of producing a new studio album, which will be out probably in 25 by the end of 25, and we have lots of plans. Also, we're in the middle of rehearsing the tour, which will go alongside the release of the Best of 40 Years album, which is just out. I think the last week it came out. It's already in the charts in Germany. So everything's going very well. So I'm quite happy.
Oh yeah, that sounds very great. You have a lot of plans. But I know like that song holds so much legacy, like in the world and like basically everywhere and like for the people. So like everybody wants me to talk about this song with you. But maybe like, is there any other songs? Cause you have like really so many of them like in the past like 40 years, right? Is there any other song that you wish to have had the same success as like Forever Young did?
Oh, every song.
Every song.
Whenever we release a new single or a new song or a new album, we're trying to do our best to make it as successful as possible, and it's a challenge, but it's not. I mean, I'm not frustrated if I'm not. I mean, Forever Young, for instance, is really a phenomenon. I think this is one of those songs that you write probably once in your lifetime if you are very, very lucky. And but even Forever Young is, I see that as a challenge, as something that I try to make, or to challenge with another song, and really to be even more successful than that. Because as a musician, as a composer, you just want to play to your audience, to make it possible that as many people as possible can listen to what you're doing, because I think that is even more important than earning money with your music. Just reaching the people and being loved by them.
I think that's such a beautiful message. Forever Young, I feel like it's been kind of like living its own life ever since it was released, and there's been like so many different covers and like versions, and it's even like trending amongst the younger generation on TikTok, like on the app. Do you have like a favorite version done by somebody else that you like, genuinely?
Actually, there are many versions of independent artists that are not so famous that did really interesting things, interesting arrangement with this song. But personally, for instance, from the more famous versions, or cover versions, I like the version that Beyoncé is singing, you know, on I mean, this is also something that I would have never even dreamed of, that an artist like Beyoncé would ever sing a song from us, you know. That is just a yeah, it's just a big win in the lottery. So yeah, if you're asking me, you know, which version you would love to listen right now, and I would say, yeah, the version of Beyoncé probably.
Yeah, I love that one too. So talking about all these different versions, it takes me to Karel Gott. I heard that he was a friend of yours.
We haven't met very often, but the few times we met, you know, there was such a big connection between the two of us, you know. And I think this guy, I mean, I really loved him. I loved him very, very dearly. It not only as an artist, but especially as a person. You know, he was just an overwhelming. He had an overwhelming personality, and I really, really miss him very much.
Yeah, it's been like exactly 5 years since he passed away. And I remember a few years ago, I was reading like different articles where people said that he was the only one who was allowed to do like anything that he wanted with the song. Is that true?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, when I heard that Karel intended to do that, I think it was for his 70th anniversary. Uh, I said, yeah. I mean, I don't give a shit. You know what he can write about. You know, normally I'm very, very strict about the lyrics changing. You know, but not with him. You know, he is just I trust him. I trusted him very much, and it was also a joy for me, you know, to see him singing the song, and because he really liked Forever Young and liked the stuff that we wrote. So yeah, I consider cover versions as big compliments to the originator, to the artist, to the composer, and that is also what we trying to do when we cover songs from other artists. You know, it's meant as a kind of, I don't know. I mean, I once covered a song from David Bowie, which is a big idol for me, and I must admit that I kind of thought when I was doing that, maybe he'll listen to this, what I did with this song, and maybe he likes it, you know. And for me, cover versions are kind of love letters to the originator, to the composer.
Yeah, I totally get that. Okay, let's talk about Prague for a while, because I know that you come here often. Do you have like a favorite memory of Prague, maybe, that you can share with us?
Every time, you know, Prague is a complete new experience for me. I mean, it's just, you know, I've been here a couple of times to Prague. It's one of the most beautiful cities in the world, and but it is not that whenever I go there that it's always the same. It's every time it's very different, and so I think that is what a city with such a big fascination as Prague, you know, really. What matters is that it has so many sides and so many different perspectives to look upon and to experience. And what I personally like very much about Prague is this ambience of mystic feeling. You know, it has a lot to do with its history. You know, from the emperors and the it has such a long history, but also, you know, by authors like Kafka, for instance, and this the Golem and all these things, you know, these mixed, doing a really fascinating, absolutely, I mean, touching feeling. You know, whenever I go there, it's like really like an expedition, like you're going into another world, you know, which with lots of different doors, you know, you can walk in. So I love Prague very much.
Yeah, it's so good
Yeah.
to hear because I live here and I forget sometimes. So it's nice to kind of hear what people think about it. Like it's really
This is
beautiful.
absolutely typical. It's the same thing. I mean, in Berlin, I live in Berlin here, and Berlin is by far not as beautiful as Prague, but Berlin is also a very fascinating, interesting city. You know, with lots of museums and lots of interesting sites, and people who come to the city, you know, they do all the stuff that I should do while while I'm living here. But I do that quite rarely. It's mostly when I'm out with my children. But yeah, I mean, when I'm in Prague, I also do the usual touristic stuff. You know, every time
Yeah.
I'm there, I cross the Karlsbrücke, for instance, and every time, even that, you know, this repetitive thing, you know, is every time, you know, I do this, my thoughts, you know, I'm thinking about different thing, and it's just it has a metaphoric feeling for me to cross the river on, especially on this bridge, you know,
Mm-hmm.
pass all these metal plates on the sides, you know, with the bronze
Yeah.
and the stuff in there, you know, and it's a very inspiring moment.
Oh yeah, for sure. I actually live by the river, so I know what you're talking about.
Well, lucky you.
You mentioned your kids. I'm very interested. What kind of music do they listen to?
Oh, they listen. I mean, I didn't know about this TikTok thing, for instance, you know,
Yeah.
but my children told me about it. You know, Dad, you know, your song is in TikTok. You know, the people doing all kinds of videos with your
Oh
song.
yeah, there's so
Did you
many.
know? I said, oh no, I don't know. That's very nice. That's very interesting. And yeah, I think it tells a lot about the song because I think Forever Young is a song of many answers. It's a song that finds an answer to many, many different, even contradictory life situations. And I think that is what makes the song so special. And that is also what you see on TikTok. You know, the people really, they have like, they share with that song, they share like all kinds of different moments in their life. And that is because Forever Young fits to many different. It has answers to many different life situations.
Yeah, and it definitely inspires a lot of people. Since you said that your kids showed you TikTok and like, you know, I don't know, maybe like new music, does it ever inspire you, like the things that they show you, like for your own creativity?
Yeah, absolutely. But I mean, I must say that I'm still very much into actual music. I mean, I'm not listening to very much to music of the past, apart from the classical composers like Mozart or Bach or Wagner or whatever. One of my favorite composers, Mendelssohn Bartholdy, for instance. But but I listen to lots of indie stuff, and you know what, I'm still very much interested in what music is an ever growing thing, you know, it ever
Yeah.
changes thing. It goes on and on and on, and it's such a fantastic thing that, you know, as a musician and as a composer are part of this development, this constant development, you know. So though I'm not very much into TikTok, I must admit, I'm still very much into music of the present and of the future.
Since you talked about, you know, like making different kinds of music and like listening to like, I don't know, new music and stuff, I saw that you've been working with an orchestra, making like all these different versions of your songs. And actually, like our music director came up to me last week and he was showing me this like orchestral version of one of your songs. And he told me that he actually added it onto the television, which we usually just play the normal versions, but he loved it so much to the point that he added it. So how has it been working with an orchestra? Like, is it different maybe than like working on normal versions of the songs?
Oh yeah, it's very different. The big difference is that you're working with so many people. You know, an orchestra like consists out of like between 40 and 60 people, a classic symphonic orchestra, and you have the conductor. You know, so the conductor channels all these different individuals, you know, into one thing, which makes the orchestra. It becomes, in a way, a solitary instrument. It becomes just one instrument, one big instrument. It's like a giant synthesizer or whatever, or a giant, I don't know, sample machine. And and then you feed this with software. And this is notes that you're writing down, because, and then you give each and every of these players, give them the note sheets, and they look at this, and then the conductor starts with the orchestra, and they just play the song. I mean,
Yeah.
in a rock band where everybody has to learn, okay, my part is this and that, and after half an hour or maybe 20 minutes, you can play the song. No, with a good symphonic orchestra, you give them the note sheets, and they just playing it, just straight from, as if somebody reading a book or something.
Yeah.
It is absolutely fascinating. And the other thing is that the orchestra, as an instrument, gives you so many opportunities on one hand, and on the other hand, it forces you to think about arrangement in a complete different way. For instance, with the synthesizer, you play a line, with the same sound through 3 octaves, and you can play with the same sound. You can't do that.
Oh, you can't do that, yeah.
You can't do that with a violin, or with a viola, for instance. You can only play certain points of the octave, and then a different group of instrument takes over. For instance, from a viola to a violin, from a violin to trumpets or whatever. So you have a melody line that consists out of 3 complete different sounds. Which is a complete new experience, for me. And I think this is what I find absolutely fascinating about orchestras.
Oh, yeah, for sure. Okay, November 14th, Alphaville in Forum Karoline. Is there something that you would like to say to the fans?
Well, yeah, there might be some surprises in our with our performance, because at the moment we are in the middle of rehearsing a new tour which starts in Germany in November, and which promotes the actual album, which is just out. And so we might come up in this concert, we might come up with lots of new songs that we have never played before. So it will be quite an experience, so please come and watch us playing songs
we will, for sure.
that we never played for 40 years of our career.
Yeah, we're super excited. It was such an honor to speak to you. We can't wait to see you live. Good luck for the whole tour.
It was great fun talking to you. So
you too.
See you.
See you. Thank you so much.
Bye-bye.
Bye.